Subiksha, you have sent me a mail, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, आपको कितने बजे निकलना है?
Sir, 4 o'clock.
Okay, ठीक है. I will take your turn before 4 o'clock. ठीक है?
हाँ ठीक है सर.
Okay, बाकी सबका presentation ready? किसमें कैसे लाए हो? अभी तक पेन ड्राइव कितने लाए हैं पहले? 3 लोग लाए. ओके. एक काम करो, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे भेज दो मुझे अभी. व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में सब अपलोड कर दो, जितने भी लोग ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स ऑल्सो प्लीज अपलोड योर पीपीटीज ऑन योर इन आवर व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. पेन ड्राइव है ना आपका? तो हाँ, जिनका पेन ड्राइव है उनका तो आई विल टेक इट. वो फिर अटैच नहीं होगा वो लिंक का. ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स भी है ना.
सर मेल कर दूं चलेगा सर?
नहीं नहीं, मेल रहने दो, फिर वो बहुत इंडिविजुअल स्टूडेंट्स का बहुत सारा मेल हो जाएगा, इसलिए बेटर टू शेयर इन अवर व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप. सिर्फ आप 10 का जो ग्रुप है वहाँ पे शेयर कर दो.
ओके सर.
इंडिविजुअली देयर आर मेनी स्टूडेंट्स. जो लोग पेन ड्राइव लाए हैं वो मुझे यहाँ पे दे दो अभी. हाँ, BCC presentation. और किसका पेन ड्राइव था? बाकी सब मुझे यहाँ पे व्हाट्सएप पे भेज दो. Forex, mutual funds, money market, derivative presentations. ये अनटाइटल्ड प्रेजेंटेशन किसका है? अनटाइटल्ड डेरिवेटिव ऑप्शंस किसका है? ओके ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स आप डायरेक्टली शेयर करोगे ना?
हाँ यस सर।
यस सर।
Yes,
ओके
sir.
ठीक सो फॉर जिन लोगों की पीपीटीज आई कैश इक्विटी आपका है डीसीसी ओके देन फॉरेक्स फॉरेक्स किसका है?
Sir, मेरा है.
ओके ओके म्यूचुअल फंड्स
तो मेरा है सर, सौरभ सर।
ओके ठीक है मनी मार्केट
सर मेरा है।
ओके डेरिवेटिव्स तो आपका अनटाइटल्ड वाला जो है एक सेकंड फिर से वापस भेज आएंगे डेरिवेटिव ऑप्शन राइट सिर्फ डेरिवेटिव्स आपका है डेरिवेटिव ऑप्शंस आपका है ये अनटाइटल्ड प्रेजेंटेशन किसका था आपका था हाँ 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 ओके गॉट इट दो फाइल्स हो जाए क्लास प्रेजेंटेशन 1 वो किसका है तो किसका बाकी रह गया आपका हाँ भेजा है प्रेजेंटेशन आ गया प्रेजेंटेशन निकिता ओके अभी आया है फाइल से पहले एडीआर जीडीआर FIIDI ओके ठीक है आपका आ गया आपका क्यों हाँ मतलब सब ओके हाँ ठीक है चलेगा समझ में आना चाहिए क्या है वापस करने की जरूरत नहीं है वी विल अंडरस्टैंड इट हाँ हाँ लेकिन वो अगर आप हमें समझा दोगे कि इसका मतलब क्या है तो वी आर फाइन विद इट जरूरत नहीं है कि किसी और मतलब देखने की देखा शॉर्ट कवरिंग बैंक निफ्टी निफ्टी एज यूजुअल आज आपके मार्क्स आ गए ना अब 10 के यस हाँ हाँ
नहीं सर,
आ गए
नहीं सर, कोई मेल तो नहीं है सर।
या वेट मेल नहीं है आपके LMS सिस्टम में ही अपलोड है
अच्छा सिस्टम में।
हाँ दिखाता हूँ ये डेरिवेटिव्स अभी तीसरा किसका प्रेजेंटेशन दे रहे हो अभी किसका आया प्रेजेंटेशन डेरिवेटिव्स
सर
का
डेरिवेटिव्स मैंने भेजा सर विक्रांत जोशी।
ओके ओके वो एक स्टार्ट कर दो ऊपर प्रोजेक्टर। आराम से आराम से। अरे रिमोट नहीं चल रहा है इसलिए। आपका एलएमएस का वो यूआरएल क्या था वेबसाइट का, मतलब LMS डॉट क्या वो?
सर वो learning.ematicus.org।
सॉरी आपका नहीं हुआ है, आपका बाद में होगा। नहीं नहीं
इसका सर
हाँ वो सब नहीं नहीं, स्कोर भी आ जाएगा और उसमें कैटेगरी भी आ जाएगी, T1 T2 T3 T4 जो भी है। नहीं नहीं, नॉट आउट ऑफ 100 तो है ही नहीं। नहीं 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 है। नेक्स्ट वीक तक। अडानी विल्मार पावर दोनों लोअर सर्किट फाइनली। अब कोई बता सकता है कि कौन सी स्ट्रैटेजी यूज करनी चाहिए अडानी स्टॉक्स में? Before we start our presentations for today, can anyone tell me which type of strategy we should use now? Very good opportunity.
hedging।
हाँ
hedging।
नहीं, आवाज नहीं आ रही है।
hedging।
Can you type in the chat box? नहीं, आवाज ठीक से नहीं है।
सर बेरिश वर्टिकल स्प्रेड।
बेरिश वर्टिकल मतलब?
सर आउट ऑफ द मनी पुट ऑप्शन सेल करना है और इन द मनी पुट ऑप्शन बाय करना है।
हाँ ठीक है, हेजिंग कर सकते हो, वो तो हेजिंग ठीक है, बट नेकेड पुट भी खरीद सकते हो। ठीक है, बहुत फार ओटीएम वाला कोई भी यू कैन टेक इट इफ इट इज एक्चुअली गोइंग टू फॉर अ लोअर सर्किट या समथिंग लाइक दैट। ऐसा फॉल बाकी एफ एंड ऑप्शंस में आने चाहिए, मतलब अदानी एंटरप्राइज एंड अदानी पोर्ट्स आर ओनली देयर, बाकी सब तो कैश स्टॉक्स है, तो यू वोंट बी एबल टू डू इट। ठीक है, तो नीचे का पुट खरीद सकते हो। इन दैट केस मतलब 2000 या 1900 या 1800 जो भी है, क्योंकि 2300 2400 चल रहा है, 2-3 लोअर सर्किट लग गए तो हमारा काम हो जाएगा उसमें, बस 10-12 रुपए का मिल रहा है अभी, ठीक है। तो इन शॉर्टर इन्वेस्टमेंट यू कैन गेट इट। ओके, चलो लेट्स स्टार्ट विद द प्रेजेंटेशंस फर्स्ट। अब जिस किसी के भी पेंडिंग है लेट मी नो फर्स्ट। इतने जितने भी पीपीटीज अभी है मेरे पास, आई विल स्टार्ट विद दैट, ठीक है। चलो किसका स्टार्ट करना है पहले? सुभिक्षा आपका ही करे स्टार्ट?
हाँ यस सर।
हाँ, सो दैट एटलीस्ट क्या है कि आपको फ्री हो जाए, ठीक है। तो कैन यू शेयर योर स्क्रीन? मतलब शेयर तो नहीं कर
Yes.
पाओगे लेकिन प्रेजेंटेशन आप स्टार्ट। जस्ट अ मिनट, आपका कौन सा था प्रेजेंटेशन? मनी नहीं, डेरिवेटिव्स या मनी मार्केट?
No, forex market. Sir, I have that option to share screen.
बट यू वुड बी एबल टू डू इट बिकॉज़ आई एम द होस्ट।
Oh,
हाँ,
that
तो डोंट वरी। आपका कौन सा
okay.
फाइल कौन सा था आपका?
Forex market.
Forex ना, ओके।
Forex
What I'm doing
transactions.
is,
Yeah.
what I'm doing is I'm opening that PPT over here, okay, and just let
Mm-hmm.
yes, you will also be able to look at that PPT. दिख रहा है ना?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah. So you can start and let me know. I will change the slides. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Hi everyone. So today I am going to present on forex transactions. The things that I'm going to cover is meaning, what is the meaning of forex transactions, and a few more points. Slide change. So forex transactions. So what is forex transactions? Basically, forex is an acronym of foreign exchange market, where we exchange foreign currencies. Basically, we buy and sell foreign currencies. So in simple words, we need to understand this is an exporter will sell their foreign currency and their importer will buy it. So it's a two-sided transaction which includes buy and sell. In India, foreign currencies that are traded for INR is USD, GBP, Yen, etc. Next slide. Okay, so how is currency valued? A currency of a country, basically, if everyone must have studied in economics that all the transactions that depends on mostly on supply and demand of whatever the transaction is related to. So similarly, currency's values is also dependent on the supply and demand of that particular currency. So it's always in a state of flux. Such kind of exchange rate where it depends on the demand and supply, where there is no intervention of the central bank, is known as a floating exchange rate. Similarly, the value of rupee in India is also determined by the market forces like imports and exports, the interest rates, the inflations, which affects the currency INR. And it would also depend on the political conditions internationally and internally. So tourism is another factor which influences foreign exchange value. So in India, if people from foreign countries are visiting and visiting various tourist places, then it would automatically appreciate the value of rupees. So tourism is also a great factor which affects the value of the currency. Next slide, sir. So the type of forex rates, fixed. There are basically two rates: fixed rate and flexible rate. So fixed exchange rate is where it is decided by the central bank mostly, and it depends on it is decided by the central bank, or it's related to the price of the gold. The government highly are involved in deciding the fixed rate for the currencies, but the opposite is the flexible rate, where it depends on the market forces like supply and demand, and there's no government intervention in deciding the flexible rate of the currency. So these are the most two types of the forex rates, that's like fixed and flexible. Moving on to the next slide. The sides of forex. There are three sides: forex buy, forex sell, and cross deals. So forex buy is when one currency is purchased for another currency. Basically, when we purchase some foreign currency for the domestic currency, it's a buy side. For example, buying USD for INR. And forex sell is when we are selling a currency for the foreign currency, is forex sell. For example, we are selling INR to get USD is forex sell. And cross deals, where both the currencies involved are foreign currencies. There's no domestic currency involved in cross deals. For example, buying CHF and selling KRW. That's all I had for forex. If you have any questions, then you can.
Yeah, first of all, I think the slides needs to be structured in a more better presentation way, because already you need to have lesser amount of text. You can just identify so much of text everywhere. Can you see this presentation?
हाँ सर, वो क्या बोलते हैं, वो माइक्रोसॉफ्ट पीपीटी में वो ठीक से दिख रहा है. ये व्हाट इज दिस WPS, इसमें ठीक से नहीं दिख रहा था, मैंने भी चेक किया था.
But still
ये थोड़ा
you can now use SmartArt for that. Okay, SmartArt is one feature of that PPT which you can use for presenting all the different subtopics or something like that. Okay. Otherwise this is fine, but yes, any questions regarding forex? Anyone, online, offline? Everyone is clear? Good. So tourism factor, how it is actually influencing foreign exchange value?
So for example, when people from European countries are coming to India, places like Kashmir or the eastern places, so what they are basically doing is they're purchasing INR.
Okay.
For example, if British country people are coming, they are selling their GBP in order to purchase the INR to come and visit our country.
Okay.
So obviously, if we promote tourism, then so when there's a value for Indian currency, automatically the currency appreciates.
Okay. Okay. Any other doubts? Anyone? Okay. Okay. Thank you, Subiksha.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Next किसका है? ADR, GDR किसका है? Okay. You can just start. You can start. They can see the slide. थोड़ा loudly बोलना चाहिए. काम करो दो बंदे. यहाँ पे आ जाओ बैठो. यहाँ पे भाई देखो सर.
So good afternoon. My name is Omkar, and I'm presenting on ADR, GDR, and role of investment banker. What are depository receipts? A depository receipt is a negotiable instrument issued by a bank to represent a foreign publicly traded securities. In depository receipt, a custodian bank in foreign country holds the actual shares in form of American depository receipt, which is listed and traded on exchange in United States of America. Global depository receipt, which is traded in established non-US such as London and Singapore. Depository receipts issued in India are known as Indian depository receipts. Generally, ADR are American depository receipts. They were issued by JP Morgan in 1927. They are generally traded like shares of US-based companies. Banks involved in ADRs are depository banks and investment banks. Prices and dividends are in US dollars. GDRs are global depository receipts issued by depository banks, purchase shares of foreign companies and deposit it on the account. Financial instrument issued by primary market to raise capital denominated in US dollars or euros. Companies can issue depository receipts in individual countries or may choose to issue their shares in multiple countries. Investment banking. Investment bankings are the bridge between large enterprises and investors. The primary goal of the investment banks is to advise businesses and governments on how to meet their financial challenges. Investment bank help their clients with financing, research, trading and sales, wealth management, asset management, IPOs, mergers, securitized products, hedging and more. Actually, investment banks are used to maximize revenues to navigate regulatory requirements. Services provided by investment banks. First are underwriting. In underwriting, investment banks, I can explain the response. Investment bank raises open market capital for corporation and governments. In mergers and acquisitions, basically two entities are involved. One is buying side company and selling side company. Each side here hires its own investment bank as advisor to get the maximum value of their shareholdings. Then sale, trading, corporate broking facilitates buying and selling of securities and other financial instruments between investment banks and the large corporations. Asset management services. Investment bank create an efficient portfolios for their client, which yields maximum returns. And merchant risk management. Investment banks try to minimize the risk of large corporations and governments. In research, most investment banks host an in-house research development where analysts works on research of equities. Yeah. It is the process. Sorry. प्रोसेस तो ठीक है, सबको प्रॉब्लम आएगा, ये जो लिखा है ना वो निकाल देना चाहिए था, फिर प्रोसेस का डायग्राम। ओके, यस, हाउ वी नीड टू इंप्रूव द यस। विक्रांत, आपका कौन सा है पीपीटी?
डेरिवेटिव प्रेजेंटेशन।
ओके, दिस वन?
यस सर।
ओके, मुझे बोलना स्लाइड्स चेंज करने के लिए, ठीक है? यू कैन स्टार्ट।
यस सर। So hi everyone, good afternoon. My name is Vikrant Joshi. I am presenting here derivatives.
Vikrant, just a minute. Can you switch your video as well?
Yes sir.
Thank you.
So I am here presenting derivatives and derivatives options. So what are the derivatives? A derivative is a contract between Sir, first slide.
Okay.
Derivative is a contract between two or more parties whose values is based on agreed upon underlying financial asset. The financial assets can be equity, commodities, or weathers. So there are four types of derivatives, which are forward derivative, future derivative, options, and swap. So next slide. So what are the purpose of derivatives? What are the derivatives purpose contract? Why the people uses derivative? So there are three main purpose of derivatives, as we can see. There is a hedging. Hedging is a strategy for minimizing the risk of your previous investment by taking an opposite position in the market. Speculation. Speculators generally speculate the market movement. It's a positive or negative according to their calculations and their strategies. So speculation is for profit earning. Speculators speculate the market and invest for the profit earning. Arbitrage is it's exploit the price difference. For example, if there are two exchanges and there is a price difference between two exchanges of certain assets. So we are buying on one exchange and selling on the second exchange. So that process is called as arbitrage. So next slide. So let's see what are the options. Option is a contract between two parties which have right to buy or sell the underlying asset on future date and on predefined price. There are two types of options: call options and put option. Call option is a person buying call option has the right to buy the underlying asset with premium to be paid. And put option, the person buying put option has the right to sell the underlying asset with the premium to be paid. So next slide. So what are the in the money, at the money, out of the money options? For considering for call options, for example, Nifty spot price is 17,500. So 17,200, the price which is lower than the spot price, that strike price will be in the money call option. At the money will be 17,500, and the strike price which is more than spot price is out of the money call option. Same we can see for the put option. Again, the Nifty spot price is 17,500. The strike price is 17,700. When the strike price is greater than spot price, then it is in the money put option. When it is equal to strike price equal to spot price, that is at the money, and when the strike price is lower than the spot price, then it is out of the money put option.
So I think this is a very clear concept explained of call option, put option, in the money, at the money, and out of money. ठीक है, ऐसे लिख लो ना तो भी easily याद रह जाएगा.
So next slide. So we have taken an example of strategies in an option. It is a bullish vertical spread using call option. So for example, consider the spot price of a asset is 10,500. We buy a call option of 10,200, which is in the money call option, and we have buy the call option, we have paid the premium of 350 rupees. So again, at the same position, we are selling a call option of 10,800, which is out of the money, and as we have sold the option, we have received the premium of 140 rupees. So if we take the example, if the current market price is 9,900, so we are not going to execute our position in buying the call option. So we are losing 350 rupees premium that we have paid on buying a call option. And as the opposite party will also not execute because he has bought a 10,800 call option. So we have received this premium. It is our profit. So net cash flow. Yes, sir.
Yeah, just a minute. Why both the trades will not get executed here?
Sir, 9,900.
Wait. Offline mein. Why these trades will not get executed? No. I am saying why there is a loss coming over here. This is what my question is. ये -210 कैसे? हाँ कैसे कैसे हुआ? हाँ वही मैं पूछ रहा हूँ, 210 का लॉस कैसे हुआ? वाई लॉस में चला गया? हाँ तो मतलब ये दोनों ऑप्शन अभी आउट ऑफ मनी हो गए, इसलिए 350 वाला भी जीरो हो गया और 140 वाला भी जीरो हो गया। लेकिन 350 आपने बाय किया था इसलिए उसका वैल्यू -350, 140 आपने सेल किया था इसके उसका वैल्यू +140, तो -350 + 140 इज इक्वल टू -210। ठीक है, अभी भी कंसेप्ट वीक है थोड़े। ओके, तो सिमिलरली इफ इट इज 10,000 फिर भी जीरो होगा, जब तक वो 10,200 को क्रॉस नहीं करता है तब तक आपका वैल्यू सेम। देखो यहाँ तक जीरो ही है, 10,300 पे जाके इसका वैल्यू सिर्फ कम हुआ, आपका वैल्यू निगेट तो नहीं हुआ है। व्हाई? बिकॉज 10,200 से 10,300 इंट्रिंसिक वैल्यू कितना हुआ? 100, टाइम वैल्यू जीरो हो गया है, तो 100 प्लस और -350, तो -250 बचा। ये तो वैसे ही 10,800 तक है तो इसका 140 मिला, तो यहाँ पे भी ब्रेक इवन अभी भी नहीं आ रहा है हमको। इफ यू सी -110, ब्रेक इवन यहाँ पे कहीं पे आएगा। बिटवीन 10,500 टू 10,600। वाई? बिकॉज यहाँ देखो -10 की वैल्यू और यहाँ पे +90 हो गए, तो ब्रेक इवन इन दोनों के बीच में कहीं पे है। तो 500 या 600 के बीच में कोई तो हम कैलकुलेशंस करेंगे तो वो वैल्यू आएगी ब्रेक इवन की 10,500 समथिंग। करेक्ट? सो दिस इज हाउ यू आर कैलकुलेटिंग। समझ में आया? कॉल ऑप्शन पुट ऑप्शन सभी, कि अभी भी ऊपर से जा रहा है? ये अलग अलग स्ट्राइक प्राइस है, ऐसे मान लो। सॉरी, नॉट दिस वन, दिस आर द टू स्ट्राइक प्राइसेस, दिस आर द करंट मार्केट प्राइस ऑफ दैट सिक्योरिटी। तो करंट मार्केट प्राइस अगर 9,900 होगी तो क्या होगा, 10,800 होगी तो क्या होगा, और बीच में कोई भी वैल्यूज है तो क्या होगा, उसके अलग अलग सिनारियोज है। करेक्ट? ओके, अच्छा वो फाइनल स्लाइड था।
Yes, sir.
ओके विक्रांत, एनी मोर, एनीथिंग यू वांट टू ऐड?
No, sir. These are actually I wanted to add more strategies, but you said just we have to keep the presentation up to 5 slides. So
ठीक है, हाँ यस, बाकी है वैसे डेरिवेटिव्स के 3-4 हैं इसलिए, बट ठीक है चलो, प्रेजेंटेशन इज स्टिल गुड एंड बेटर। लेसर टेक्स्ट इज देयर, एक्सप्लेनेशन इज मोर, दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर द स्लाइड्स। ठीक है, सिर्फ इतना ही लिखना है, फिर आप एक्सप्लेन कर दो डायरेक्टली। ठीक है, इतना टेक्स्ट डालने के यहाँ पे भी डेफिनेशंस की जरूरत नहीं थी, बट ठीक है चलो चलेगा। ओके, रेस्ट इज फाइन। ओके, सो दिस इज हाउ यू नीड टू प्रिपेयर द प्रेजेंटेशंस। हाँ, कहाँ पे? ये वेदर कहाँ से आ गया?
सर वेदर फोरकास्टिंग के उस पे भी मतलब डिसाइड करते हैं ना डेरिवेटिव्स, बिकॉज
बट वो फाइनेंशियल एसेट थोड़ी है।
फाइनेंशियल एसेट नहीं है सर।
क्यों?
Sir, weather decides the price of the commodities. For example, we are considering commodities like
Weather is not a financial product. उसका वैल्यू क्या है? That is what I'm asking. If you are saying the value of my derivative will be based on agreed upon underlying value of the underlying financial asset. वेदर का वैल्यू क्या होगा? How will I determine the value of weather? वो समझ गया, गर्मी है सर्दी है जो भी हुआ, एग्री कमोडिटीज पे इम्पैक्ट आया। I got that point. But what is the value of weather in numeric terms? That is what I'm asking.
it's not, it don't have any value, sir. I just trade it
Of
in
course.
NISM derivatives, so
ठीक है, बट आना नहीं चाहिए। हाँ यार, इट कैन बी द फैक्टर बट इट कैन नॉट बी एन एसेट और अ फाइनेंशियल एसेट है विद अ न्यूमेरिक वैल्यू।
okay, yes, sir.
ठीक है, चलो, गुड क्वेश्चन इन दैट आई डिडंट कैच दैट थिंग। ओके, थैंक यू विक्रांत, यू कैन
Thank you,
जस्ट ओके।
Sir, may I?
यस सौरभ,
Shashi.
सॉरी वेट, आपका कौन सा था?
Fundamental analysis of LIC IPO.
आपका पीपीटी नहीं भेजा आपने व्हाट्सएप पे?
सर भेजा है अभी।
एक सेकंड, लेट मी जस्ट ये मनी मार्केट किसका है? अर्शद है। Shishir, can you see your presentation now?
Yes, sir. I can.
Okay, yes, please switch your video as well.
Yeah. I hope I am visible now.
No, you are not visible yet.
Okay.
Yes, now visible.
I'll just clean the camera, sir. So just a second. It's too blurry here.
ठीक है. Okay, you can start.
Yeah. Hello, friends. My name is Shishir. Today I'm giving the presentation of fundamental analysis of LIC, the IPO that which we are going to see on May 4th. So the tagline, as we all know, it is Zindagi ke saath bhi aur Zindagi ke baad bhi. Why it has been given in that way? Yes, because of the insurance. It's an insurance sector, hence. So the next slide.
Yeah.
LIC, as we all know, that the middle letter, that I, insurance, along with that, it's even an investment product also. It's, as we all know, there are many term insurance also, and there are certain investment products. For example, the pension plans, the retirement funds, the education products and all. We pay the premium, and later at the age of 18 or for marriage at the age of 21, we get the certain amount. Hence, even investment products are categorized in that way. We all know that insurance means the first thing that strikes in our mind is LIC, because that's what which we have heard, because it had a greatest monopoly in our country up to 2000s. Then later the private players came in, and now we are able to see HDFC, Max, Bajaj Allianz and all. But usually LIC is what we hear or what we always feel about. Up to as of 30th of September, the total assets under management with LIC was of rupees 39 lakh crores. That's a huge amount. And if we just if we just have to compare it with other things, it's like it's almost, if I have to say it, like it's 4% of the entire NSE's market cap. In other terms, if I'm comparing. The LIC is having more money than the entire mutual fund industry combined. They invest these funds across stocks, bonds. They own 4% of all the listed stocks in India and more government bonds than RBI. Obviously, they're getting premium daily by many people. Obviously, they'll be investing so that they can raise the capital and so that they can pay the premiums. They can pay the claims. They can settle the claims. That's the business model. Further, the asset under management of LIC as of March 21st, it's almost 19% of India's GDP for the fiscal year 2021. So that's a huge amount. 39%. If we just multiply it by 5 times, so considering it 40, then 200 crores, approximately that could be the India's GDP. LIC is also the largest domestic institutional investor in Indian financial sector. So the next slide. Here we speak some of the financials regarding the LIC. The total assets here we can see as of 31st of December 2021, it is 4 crore 9 lakh 7,000. All this in rupees in millions. That means 4 crore 9 lakh million rupees. We can even see a trend from 31st March to 31st December. There has been a slight increase in the total number of assets. And when it comes to the profit after tax, that is the PAT, there has been a decline. Sorry. Due to many reasons, because of the COVID and all, there has been a lot of claim settlements which the LIC has to give. Hence, there has been a reduction in the profit in comparison to earlier quarters. The main objectives of this IPO is obviously to reduce the 3.5 percentage shareholding of the government, and the privatizing, as it's normally called as privatizing. Earlier they were supposed to reduce 5%, and due to this volatility, due to the war and all, it has been brought down to 3.5%. And right now they are selling around 31 crore 62 lakh 49,000 shares. So the next slide. Even in the last slide, as we saw, that the objectives of the IPO for the private companies, for example, the Paytm and all, they clearly mentioned to pay off the debt and all. Here they are not clearly mentioning, because it's the government's money. They can use it the way they want. Anyway, it's not under stress to use this money to pay off the debt or any other things. In this slide here, I'll be explaining about the market share of the LIC in comparison to other life insurance sectors, for example, SBI, HDFC, ICICI, Max, and Bajaj. If we go with the urban and the rural comparison, and by here NBP means new policies here, and by the individual policy, we can see the numbers here. In the urban, it's 51%, rural is 40% for LIC. In individual policy level also, it is 76%, and for rural 71%. But if you go down and see that SBI and all, SBI is just in when it comes to individual NBP, it is just in 2 digits. The others, they are nowhere near 2 digits. They are all in single digits. Here only we can see the kind of the trust that the people owes to LIC, and the trust that it has gained since its birth from 1956, September 1st of 1956. Hence, it has a huge amount of the market share in India. But if I have to just go in depth, and if I look at the regional wise, in Maharashtra, yes, obviously in Maharashtra, the LIC is not performing as well as its peers. For example, HDFC and LIC, the percentage of policy holders with HDFC or LIC or Bajaj is comparatively more when it comes to in comparison to LIC. That's a bit strange, but when it comes to other states, obviously LIC is at the top. In the next table here, I'm going to speak about the solvency ratio. The solvency ratio means ratio, let's go to the later part, the solvency amount. That means that a company must keep certain amount when there are certain claims. For example, if I have to compare it, it is just like the CRR or SLR for the banks. When the people come to the bank to withdraw their money, they must be having certain cash to pay out. In the same way, this solvency ratio works. If tomorrow I go to claim my policy, the LIC or any other life insurance companies, they must be having certain amount to pay to me. Hence, that is the solvency ratio.
Just a minute.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, Shishir, go on.
Yeah.
In between, Shishir just wanted to ask, why are you not attending on offline classes?
Sir, actually, I'm unwell since last week. I'll by this end of the week, I'll be much better, and by next week, I'll be attending, sir.
Okay. Just drop me a mail for that, okay?
Sure, sir. Okay. Yeah. According to IRDAI, in IRDAI, Insurance Regulator Development Authority of India, it has said that in percentage terms, it has to be 150%. The solvency in percentage, in ratio times, it has to be 1.5 times. That means that for every 100 rupees, the amount that it is receiving, it has to keep 150 aside, so that it can pay out of the claims. Here we can see the solvency ratio of LIC in the fiscal year 2019, it was 1.6, and later on it went on increase. In 2020, it got decreased, obviously because of the COVID. 21 and 22, we can see 1.83. But in comparison, when we look at the Bajaj Allianz, the solvency ratio is 7 and 6.26 in the fiscal year 2022, the first quarter. So we can see it has kept 6 times more the amount of the premiums that it is receiving. We can assume two ways here. For example, one thing would be that they are keeping a lot of idle money with themselves, that they are not investing. It can be one more way. And in another way, if you look at, they're keeping this much money aside in case of sudden claim settlements, the Bajaj Allianz will be standing in a much stronger sense because it has 6.26 times the solvency ratio. So the next slide. In this slide, we'll speak about the claim settlement ratio of LIC with respect to its peers, and even the LIC's investments, the amount that the premium that which is receiving. In the claim settlement ratio, LIC in fiscal year 2019, it was good, 98.3. And in fiscal year 20, it had drastically reduced, 95.4. When it comes to the other peers, we can see 95.4 is literally too less. When it comes to HDFC Life at 99.4. And when it comes to Bajaj Allianz of 99.7, here we can assume two ways. One is the solvency ratio of LIC at much lesser rate of just 1, keeping it above 1.5. And when it comes to Bajaj Allianz, it is keeping above 6. So even that can be one of the reason, and minor reason, obviously. The rest apart, again, in fiscal year 21, the claim settlement ratio of LIC has been improved to 98.3, which is a good thing. And when it comes to the investments, as of 30th September 2021, the LIC has invested around 37.5% in government central securities, the G-SECs, 25% in state governments, 8% in corporate bonds, and nearly 25% in equity securities. Here, 8% of corporate bonds, even they belong to AAA ratings. And whatever the equities, the nearly 25% of equity securities at which they have invested, those companies, they belong to Nifty 200 and BSE 200 indices, nothing less of that. Means at least 90% they have put it in a very secured companies. And in bonds also, obviously AAA minus rated. Minus looks a bit negative, but no, it's still a very good rating. So the next slide. So yes, now let's be ready for the IPO, which is going to be on May 4th, and today is 28th of April. The opening would be on 4th May and the closing will be on the 9th May. Yes, this is a book building method. They're not using the fixed price. The issue price is going to be at 902 to 949 per equity. And retail investor has to buy a one lot of minimum 15 shares and maximum of 14 lots of 210 shares, or nearly equal, comes to 2 lakhs maximum in rupees and 15,000 in a single lot. Here the government is diluting around 22 crore 13,74,000 shares, considering a face value of 10. The face value of the entire shares are going to be 10. So it comes to the issue price of rupees 21,008 crores. But this is going to be the issue size and price. That means the market, this is not the market value. This is going to be the book value. But when after the listing and all, we can literally assume, considering 949 into 22 crores, with the amount that's going to be different. Yes, it's a big amount. And for retail and employee, the discount will be of rupees 45, and for policyholders, it's going to be 60 rupees discount. And for institutional qualified institutional buyers, they can't buy not more than 50%, and the retail institutional retail investors, they can't, means the percentage of quota that which has been kept for retail, it won't be less than 35, and for high net worth, it won't be less than 15%. That's all. Thank you. Any questions from your side?
Any questions in this IPO analysis? Solvency ratios, qualified institutional buyers. Solvency ratio, can you explain once again?
Yes, sir.
The solvency ratio basically in nutshell is more of like your CRR and SLR. Okay, so this much amount of corpus will be with there in terms of liquid cash, right, Shishir?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so why? Because say for example COVID जैसा situation हो गया तो बहुत सारे claim processing आ जाएंगे एक साथ, correct? So in that case, company needs to have liquid cash. So if you see, LIC is keeping only 1.6% of the total amount, whereas Bajaj LIC is keeping highest 8%. This was figure of FY19. For FY22 also, still Bajaj LIC is keeping 6 times. Yeah, 6.26. Ideally, it should be 1.5 times as per the regulatory standards. Clear now?
It's like for every 100 rupees they receive, they have to keep aside 150 rupees.
1.5 rupees for
Yeah.
every 100.
Okay.
150.
No, sir, it's in percentage, it becomes 150%.
So 100 rupees में 150 कैसे साइड में रखें?
Ah, right. Okay. Okay. Of times, na? Oh, yeah.
नहीं होगा. वो 1.5% ही होता है.
Okay.
Same
No,
as CRR. Yes, again, if I am saying CRR, so out of every 100 rupees that I am receiving in terms of deposits, 4 rupees will be kept in CRR. 18% will be kept in SLR.
Sir, here it is 1.5 times. That means that 100 of one time is 100.
Oh, well, that I got it, but 1.5 times. Then,
Yes.
but how will they get that extra funds? That is what my question is then.
So even I got confused while putting this thing, but in percentage terms, it is mentioned 150. But when I went to this red herring prospects, it's in terms of times, like 1.5 times it mentioned.
1.5 times of what?
Okay.
1.5 times of what exactly we factor that they have counted upon, it's not clear then.
Okay.
Or as of now 10 to 15 rupees at max, not more than that, because this amount cannot be too large.
Yeah, seriously. Yeah.
It should be minimum.
Yeah.
Clear?
Yes, sir.
ज्यादातर वो सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के सिक्योरिटीज में करते हैं, तो टी बिल्स हो गया, ट्रेजरी बॉन्ड्स हो गए, ठीक है, मनी मार्केट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स यहाँ पे. स्टेट गवर्नमेंट सिक्योरिटीज वी हैव सीन यस्टरडे इन दैट केस, राइट? डिफरेंट टाइप्स ऑफ एक्सप्रेस हाईवेज ये वगैरह जो भी था. कॉर्पोरेट बॉन्ड्स, अगेन देयर विल बी डिफरेंट बॉन्ड्स अवेलेबल ऑफ इश्यूड बाय द प्राइवेट कंपनीज. रिलायंस हो गया, ठीक है, और इक्विटी सिक्योरिटीज मतलब इन स्टॉक मार्केट. एनी डाउट? ओके शिशी.
Sure, sir. Thank you.
In that presentation, I think overall was good. More of tables and pictures, that is right, but still can be improved through more of visual presentations. Okay, so you can still improve that.
Sure, sir.
चलो अभी आते हैं, किनको आना है क्लास में से? हाँ, आ जाओ. कौन सा है आपका? क्लास प्रेजेंटेशन. हाँ, ओके, आ जाओ.
So good afternoon, everyone. I'm going to present one presentation on the swaps. So we all know what is swaps. Swaps were so definition of swap. Swap is a derivative contract through which two parties exchange the cash flow or liabilities from two different financial instruments. So we know that swap means many times what two investors do, they just exchange their risk or exchange their future payments with each other. So there are 4 types of swaps: interest rate swaps, equity swap, foreign exchange swaps, and credit default swap. So first, interest rate swap. And an interest rate swap is a swaps. The party exchange cash flow based on a notional principal amount, and the notional amount cannot be exchanged actually in order to hedge against interest risk. So we can see on the image is one party who got the floating interest rate, and second party are paying the fixed interest rate. So they can mutually exchange their interest rate, and one party can get the one party get the after the exchange or swap. One party can get the floating rate, and second party can get the first party can get the fixed rate, and second party get the floating rate. So and they can in the future risk. So equity swap. An equity swap is an exchange of future cash flow between the two parties that allows each party to diversify its income for a specified period of time while still holding its original assets. So in the image, party A and party B. So party A can exchange their floating interest LIBOR plus 1%. So they can both agree in the contract. So one party A, gave his or her LIBOR plus 1% to the party B, and in exchange to that, party B can give the returns of the S&P index or Nifty index to the party A. Oh, yes, sir. Your index is also variable. So we can exchange, sir, in an equity. Yes, yes. So third one is foreign exchange swap. A foreign current swap is also known as FX swap, is an agreement to exchange currency between two foreign parties. So where in one currency swap, foreign swap, the counterparty exchange given amount in the two currencies. For example, one party might receive 100 millions of the British pound, while the other receive 125 million. This implies the GBP USD exchange rate of 1.25. So there is a two party, one from USA and one from Germany, one from UK, and they both have to exchange their currencies. So the US party can exchange their 100 millions of USD to the party in the UK, and in return he can get the 125 million of US Germany GBP pound in exchange. So we can say that the exchange rate of USD and GBP is 1.25. So they are exchanging, and in return, the UK party can get the 100 millions of USD, and US party can get the 125 million of pound. Yes. Dollars. So they are exchanging. Actually, I have to add photo there, but
Forex में 3 entities है. We have already seen one example. Forex में.
So next.
Because basically हम क्या करते थे, एक कंपनी यूएस का था, उसको लोन चाहिए था, राइट? उसको चाहिए था यूके में, राइट? ठीक है, तो वो अलग अलग वहाँ पे लोन का जो रेट था वो एक्सचेंज हो रहा है यहाँ पे करेंसी का वो नहीं.
The credit default, sir, or we can call it CDS, refers to a financial derivative that allows an investor to swap or offset their credit risk with the other investor. So there is a two party, a party A and party B. They exchange their the B party get funds from the party A, and after 1 year or 2 years, there is a fall in the A company B's credit ratings. So party A can hedge their default risk with the party C. We, in simple terms, we can call it insurance. So basically, a buyer can hedge their or can exchange their risk to the third party, and this is called the CDS. And in return, third party can get the premium or the specified amount from the buyer. So that's also any questions? Equity swap is basically the the exchange of the future cash flow between two parties. Here it is the party A. There is a two party A and a party B. So they have to exchange their instruments or their interest rate. So what will they do? Is party A the party is having the floating rate, so they want index return as a index. 1 minute, sir. How to so they exchange their interest rate. So party A will exchange to the party B their floating interest rate, and in return, party B will return to the party as a return on a S&P index or a Nifty index or anything index. So they are dealing with. समझा नहीं रहेगा सर उसे? नहीं समझा सर उसे. में आता था. नहीं नहीं, I know that.
बट हाँ, बहुत इम्प्रूवमेंट तो प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स में चाहिए. ओके, चलो विज ऑफलाइन में से हाँ कौन सा है आपका? इसको बोलते हैं बॉडी लैंग्वेज को मैनिपुलेट करना. ठीक है, चलो जस्ट अ मिनट.
So next slide. Okay. Hello everyone. Good afternoon. Here I am explaining, giving presentation on fixed income securities. And in fixed income securities, I am explaining two concepts: yield to maturity and dirty price and clean price. So it is not happening. Okay. Then we are going to discuss first yield to maturity. Yield to maturity is also referred to as redemption yield or book yield. Yield to maturity is return on a bond. When the return on bond, when bond we held till maturity date, or it is a discount rate which equates the current market price of a bond with present value of a cash inflow associated with the bond in the form of interest income or and redemption price. Yield to maturity is considered as long-term bond yield, but we take it as an annual return also. And it is also known as interest rate, which an investor would earn by investing every coupon payment from a bond at the constant interest rate until the bond's maturity date. And there are two methods to calculate yield to maturity. One is trial and error method, and second is approximation method. But in trial and error method, it is very complicated. So generally, we use the approximation method, and here we have formula for approximation method. In this, yield to maturity is equal to coupon plus face value minus price upon n. N means years to maturity. And here we also take face value plus price upon 2. And when calculation is done, if the year to maturity, yield to maturity is less than required price, or required price is given to us in bond sometimes, or if yield to maturity is more than required price, then we can buy the bond. It is profitable. And if yield to maturity is less than required rate, then it is bond will means we can make loss. So we should not buy the bond. I took some example to explain. Here, a company has rupees 1,000 par value bond currently selling at 900. The coupon rate is 9% per annum and maturity period is 6 years. The bond is redeemable at par. Find the yield to maturity. I put by putting the sums in formula, we can get yield to maturity is 11.2%. So if I take required rate 12%, then and yield to maturity we get is 11.2%. So it is less than required price. So it is means we can make loss in this situation. So we can't really buy the bond. Second concept, dirty price and clean price. Here the dirty price is which bond buyer pay to bond seller in secondary market, and which includes accrued price, and it generally calculate on first day of our first day on when the sorry. We can it is the price when bond buyer is paying to bond seller. It is we can calculate is on first day when the I can't get the word. There we have formula for dirty price, that is clean price plus accrued interest. Accrued interest we can calculate by using face value, coupon interest of rate, and day count convention. And we have second concept, clean price. It is market value of bond which buyer is willing to pay to the seller at market rate price, and it excludes accrued interest. Generally, dirty price is used in US and clean price is used in US. Face value into fair value in percent. Accrued interest, we have formula to calculate accrued interest, where we take coupon in percentage and face value that bond we are purchasing at face value, and we take day count convention according to that 4 types, whatever is mentioned, we can take on.
Okay, Saurabh, are you there?
Yes, sir. I'm there. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, कौन सा है? Yeah.
Mutual funds, last one.
Okay, just a minute. Slides are visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start.
So hello friends. So my topic is mutual funds, and the requirement of this topic was to show any 5 mutual fund scheme and their asset allocation. So first we will.
A little louder.
Okay, am I audible now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the requirement of this topic was to show any 5 mutual fund scheme and their asset allocation and their brief introduction. So can we switch on to the first slide? So can we go to the next slide? So first, what is mutual fund? So that's the basic definition. A mutual fund is a professionally managed investment fund that pools money from many investors to purchase security. The diagram below illustrates the definition. Like you can see, there are 3 investors who are pooling money into a fund house, which we call as mutual fund. And the mutual fund, in turn, invest those amount or the allocation of money into different sectors, maybe financial, energy, or any other commodity. So here you can see they are investing certain part in money market and certain part in equity. On the other hand, according to the fluctuation in the market prices, it will generate returns, and those returns will be delivered to us upon the maturity or when we redeem those securities. So yeah, can you please go to the next slide, sir? So this is not my, okay, sir. So I have sent another slide, latest slide actually. ये सर पुराना था, उसमें एक्चुअली सर इमेजेस विजिबल नहीं हो रहे थे, तो मैंने दूसरा स्लाइड भेजा था लास्ट में, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे सबसे लास्ट में भेजा स्लाइड में।
अभी वापस भेजा है नया?
हाँ सर, वो उसमें इमेजेस विजिबल नहीं हो रहा था सर इसलिए।
ओके ओके Okay, do one thing. I'm disconnecting as of now क्योंकि मुझे डाउनलोड करना पड़ेगा. I'm taking another presentation. I will be coming back to you again.
Sure, sir. No problem. No problem.
ठीक है, चलो तब तक एक ऑफलाइन में से ले लेते हैं. कौन सा है टॉपिक? डेरिवेटिव ऑप्शंस. This one? Yeah, automatically. I doubt it. The PDF डेरिवेटिव ऑप्शंस वाला ही है ना? PDF की तरह आ रहा है शायद. इसमें एनिमेशन डायरेक्ट नहीं. The reason is क्योंकि because ये WPS ऑफिस का सॉफ्टवेयर है इसमें. तो यहाँ से नेक्स्ट करना है, तो स्लाइड की तरह नहीं आएगा.
So good afternoon everyone, myself Shweta Chavan, and today I'm going to present the PPT on the topic from derivatives, that is option. So basically what is options we will see. Option is a financial derivative that gives a buyer a right but not an obligation to buy or sell an underlying asset which is agreed upon a price or a date. So further we will see it with an example. So in next slide, right side of this. So, okay. Yes. So here is an example in which I decided to buy a car, my favorite car, and so I went to a showroom. There the seller told me that I have to buy this car for the amount of 16 lakhs. and there I have to pay the 16 lakhs, but I have to wait for that car for 11 months. So for the waiting period is 11 months. So I decided that I have to book it right now, or otherwise the GST value for that price will fluctuate in near future. So I booked the price for the amount of 20,000, and this is what an option is. Whereas when I've told my friends that I have booked a car, so she also wanted to purchase the same car, and she went to the same showroom. There the showroom sellers told her that now the price of the car is higher, which is 18 lakhs, and the waiting period is same. So she came up to me and she told me that I will rather purchase it from you, but that is, I will trade the booking contract with you, and for that I agreed upon the same contract, and so she gave me the 18 lakh amount and for the 20,000 premium, and that is what a call option is. Further, when she got her car, she as she is a heavy driver, she met with an accident, and as she has previously given the insurance of 20,000, she got the car amount for 18 lakhs rupees, which is a put option. So this is an hypothetical example to further understand the options and its type. So in terms, the call option is call gives the buyer the right, but not an obligation to buy the underlying asset. Whereas in put option, that it gives gives the buyer the right, but not an obligation to sell the underlying asset at a strike price with a specified in the contract. So here I have used the 4 strategies. So first is the bull spread, where the Nifty price is around 17,100 Nifty price I have taken, and for that I have buy the call option of 17,000 call option and sell the call option of 17,200. Sorry. Sell the call option of 17,000. Reverse होना चाहिए. Spot price 1,700 लिया है. 1,700. 17,000. हाँ 17,100. हाँ. So उसका
ये गलत किया हुआ है.
17,200. Sell किया है ना 17,100 spot price. जो उल्टा भी है, जो रिवर्स किया है, यस उधर से ये यस गॉट इट. सेकंड इज पुट स्प्रेड. पुट ऑप्शन सेल किया, सॉरी बाय किया. बैंक निफ्टी का 36,300 है, 36 स्पॉट प्राइस है, 36,300 तभी चल रहा था जब मैंने किया. नहीं स्पॉट प्राइस 36,300 है एट द मनी. स्ट्राइक सॉरी स्पॉट प्राइस 35,600 पुट प्राइस बाय किया है और 37,300 पुट को सेल किया है. 37,300. 36,300. In the money, yes. Sorry, out of the money. Yes, sir. हाँ समझ में आया मैंने कॉल So this is the So this is the butterfly. So in this 17, this Nifty price is 17,100, and I have buy the call option for 17,000 at the money, and so buy call option 17,000. Strike is 17,100. Sorry, spot price 17,100 है. Strike price call option एक buy किया है और एक sell की 17,000. At the money दोनों भी करना है ना. हाँ. और फिर हाँ 16,000 कॉल ऑप्शन है वो. पहले कॉल ऑप्शन को एट द मनी हाँ पर आ रहा है ना एक को सेल करके और सर तो ग्राफ तो हाँ ओके
If I want to take long position, then I have to sell 2 call options at the money and go and buy in the money call option and one out of the money call option. ऐसे कर सकते हो बट ओपन वी एक्चुअली डिस्कस ओनली वन स्ट्रेटजी के बारे में फुट वाला एंगल टू ट्रेड का ऐसे कर सकते हो. ऐसा नहीं है तो इसीलिए तो बोल रहा हूं ग्राफ भी सेम ही आएगा भाई क्योंकि एट द मनी का आपने सेल किया हुआ है तो मार्केट वही घूमता रहेगा. तो प्रॉब्लम ये आएगा कि एट द मनी भी जीरो वो आपने बेचे देखिए आउट ऑफ मनी का इसका प्रीमियम नहीं होगा तो उसका वैल्यू इतना लॉस में जाएगा नहीं. आपका सिर्फ जाएगा तो आपका लॉस कौन सा जाएगा जो इन द मनी का टाइम वैल्यू है वही आपका नुकसान. इसलिए
तो सर एट द मनी जो है पहला और
एट द मनी कॉल एंड पुट ऑप्शन दोनों सेल कर दो.
यस
और दोनों के आउट ऑफ मनी बाय कर.
हाँ समझ गया. So further is iron condor in which the spot price for the Nifty is again 17,100 and 17,100, wherein 16,950 put option I have sold and 17,050 call option I have sold. But strike price बराबर है 16,800. हाँ 16,950
से कितने डिस्टेंस पे बाय किया है
कौन सा
16,950 को सेल किया है और उसको हेज किया है 800 का तो 150 पॉइंट का डिफरेंस है. अब यहाँ पे 200 पॉइंट का हो गया 17,050 एंड 17,2 50 पॉइंट्स बढ़ गया इसलिए आपको ये लेग ज्यादा लंबा लगता है. ऐसे होना चाहिए तो 17,250 जो है वो 17,200 होना चाहिए उसकी जगह.
अच्छा ओके
समझ में सभी स्ट्रैटेजीज तीन रिवाइज कर देंगे. अब ऐसे प्रैक्टिस करके तब पता चलेगा ना कौन सा सेल हो रहा है बाय हो रहा है. चलो ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स दिख रहा है ना स्लाइड्स. हेलो
यस
सर.
ओके चलो Okay, now let's अपन आएगा. FII DI प्रमोटर किसका है? कुछ नया टॉपिक करते हैं, कब से डेरिवेटिव चल रहा है. Hello everyone. I am going to present the cash equity theory and some examples. So, what is cash equity? Cash equity is the common stock issued to the public. May also refer to the institutional trading of these shares. Cash equity is none other than the normal stocks that equity holders hold. And what is FII? FII is a foreign institutional investors. Are those institutional investors which invest in the assets belonging to a different country other than that where these organizations are based. Means we can say that Goldman Sachs is an investment bank and he want to invest in the Reliance Industries. So we can say that the Goldman Sachs is the FII. Okay? What is DI? Domestic institutional investors are those institutional investors which undertake investment in the securities and other financial assets of the country they are based in. Like insurance companies or hedge funds of the India are investing in Reliance Industries, which is based in India. So that these are total DIs. FIIs like financial institutions of foreigns, or we can say investment banks or HNIs of foreign. And DIs examples are insurance companies of India, hedge funds, mutual funds, etc. Who is the promoter in an organization? A stock promoter is an individual or organization that helps raise money for some investment activity, and the shares held by promoter are promoter holdings. Okay. Promoter holdings are mostly the equity shares holded by the founders or the sponsors of the company, that we can say that promoter holdings. Okay. So you can see some examples where the FII holdings are continuously increased in last 2 years, 1 year, and in last 3 quarters. Okay. So last 2 years, March 2020, at the Cipla Limited, in the Cipla Limited, FII holdings was 18.0. Okay. And between the COVID period, that is huge amount of holdings are increased by FIIs. In March 2021, 23.3 holdings are increased. And in last 3 quarters, we can say that we can see that 24.8, 24.4, some decrease in 0.4, but again, it increased in March 22 in last quarter, which is 26.6%. Hindalco Industries, same. It was in March 2020, 18.7. Again, it increased by around 7% in March 2021, like before 1 year, 25%. And September in last 3 quarters, 25.5. In December 2021, it's 26.0, and it's in March it's 28.9. Hindalco Industries makes the steels and metals. Okay? It's a manufacturer of steels and metals. Oil and Gas Corporation Limited is the manufacturer of natural oil and gases. It is run by Indian government and Ministry of Oil and Gas. March 2020, it was 7.6. Again, increased by in March 2021 after a year ago, 8.1. And it is not increased in September 2021 between 1 quarter. It is stable in 8.1%. But in last 2 quarters, it is increased by 1% again. Let us see some examples of increased DI holdings. Coforge Limited is a company that is IT-based company which provides the IT solutions, AI solutions, and digital solutions that we are artificial intelligence or cloud computing, etc. Also, DI is that is domestic investors which are included in India. Each invested in 6.8% was in March 2020. But as of C increase
growth of the company, domestic investors invested increased their holdings in March 2021 by 7%, around 7%. And after it, in last 3 quarters, it's again increasing by 2% and 5%. Ratnamani Metals and Tubes, it's the manufacturer of tubes like stainless steel pipes and any other thing. March 2020, it was 12.2. Again, in March 2021, 14.3. It's not increasing that much, but it's increasing again. Suven Pharmaceuticals is the contract development and manufacturing company. It becomes makes contract develop and provides the solutions to any other need of pharmaceutical industries. That again we can say here not that much, but in last 3 quarters it gained by 0.1% and again 1%. In March 2020 it was 4. In March 2021 it's 5.5. And the last promoter holdings these are the 3 companies where promoter holdings are increased. That is SOM Distilleries and Breweries. In last 2 years, we know that COVID period has passed. That's why SOM Distilleries and Breweries are manufacturer of beverages, alcohol beverages. So that's why it's increasing day by day. In March 2020, it's 24.5. It's not increased that much because of COVID, but after COVID, in February 2022 and March 2022, it increased by 4%, 4 to 5%. Tejas Network is a provider of telecom industry. It provides 4G, 5G networks in India. It also in March 2020, it's 0. March 2021, it's 0. But we can see there too much of promoter holding is increased in the Tejas Network in last 3 quarters. That is December 2021, it's 37.3. Again, it's decreased, but not that much in March 2022. But in this month, it is increased by around 14 to 15%. And Adani Ports, we know that Adani Ports provides logistic support. In March 2020, it's 62.2, 62.8, and on today's date, in last quarter, March 2022, it's 65.6. That is a 3% increase. Okay, that's all for today, sir. Thank you. Any questions? सर वो मार्च 20 में क्या प्राइस था डायरेक्टली कंपैरिजन हो गया शेयर प्राइसेस मार्च 20 का प्रमोटर का या मतलब 5 का या डीएस का में होल्डिंग बढ़ रहा है तो वी विल डायरेक्टली बी एबल टू कंटिन्यू दैट लाइक depending on the fundamentals of the company. TCS will be the holding हो सकता है ना. तो रियल एस्टेट का हो रहा है सबसे पहले ये इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर बन रहा है हाईवे इंडस्ट्री सबसे पहले ये एक्सपीरियंस. Hello, any questions from online students? Hello.
No.
Online में से कोई एक क्वेश्चन तो पूछो. Yeah, Shishir, can you ask one question in this? Saurabh, Vikrant, any question in this?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Still, how many are left? 1, 2, 3, 4. यहाँ पे 5. ठीक है, let's do one thing. We are taking a small break. बाकी लोगों के presentations उसके बाद. ठीक है, जितने भी pending हैं. Okay, online students.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. But presentation skills के ऊपर बहुत काम करना है. ऐसा भी मुझे लग रहा है. Sanket, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, आपका कौन सा था टॉपिक?
मनी मार्केट. मुझे ट्रेजरी बिल सर्टिफिकेट ऑफ डिपॉजिट उदय आता दो.
एक सेकंड ना, चेक करता हूँ. वो ग्रीन वाला है वो?
1 minute.
This one?
सर. हाँ, यस सर.
ठीक है, आपका वीडियो ऑन कर दो.
हाँ.
Okay, you can start.
Okay. Hello everyone. My topic is money market instrument. I am discuss about money market instrument. Money market instrument are those instrument money or its equivalent can be traded in a money market. There are different types of money market. Sir, please next one slide. There are treasury bills, commercial papers, certificate of deposits, and repurchase agreement. Sir, next one. In treasury bills, treasury bills is a short-term US government debt obligation backed by Treasury Department with security of 1 year or less. The US government issued T-bills to fund various public projects such as construction of school and highways. T-bills can have maturity of just few days or up to maximum of 52 weeks, but common maturity are 4, 8, 13, 26, and 52 weeks. The longer the maturity, higher the interest rate in treasury bills. Purchasing of T-bills in secondary market through the broker. New issue of T-bills can purchase at auction held by government on the treasury direct side. So next. The certificate of deposit is second one, the money market instrument. A certificate of deposit is a money market instrument that is issued in a dematerialized form against funds deposited in a bank for a specific period of time. Opening a certificate of deposit is very similar to opening any standard bank deposit account in a retail banking. Certificate of deposit have become a more attractive option for a saver who want to earn more than most savings, checkings, or money market accounts pay, but without taking on the risk or volatility of the market. Certificate of deposit are one of the safest saving or investment instrument available for two reasons. Because first, their rate is fixed and guaranteed, so there is no risk that your certificate of deposit return will be reduced or even fluctuated. So next one. Commercial papers is a commonly used type of unsecured short-term debt instrument issued by corporation, typically used for the financing of the payroll, account payable, and inventories, and meeting other short-term liabilities. Maturity on a commercial paper typically lasts several days and rarely ranges longer than the 270 days. Marcus Goldman and Goldman Sachs was the first dealer in a money market to purchase commercial papers, and his company became one of the biggest commercial papers dealer in America. The borrowers would subsequently prepay the investor an amount equal to the par value of the note. Thank you.
Sanket, I think these are the notes directly written from that PDF only, right?
No, sir. This all gathered from the Investopedia and other material like I referred for to take in this information.
Okay, but why there is so much of text?
Okay, okay.
There has to be some explanations. T-bill के rates क्या चल रहे हैं और US का market नहीं देखने हैं, अभी हमको Indian markets देखने हैं.
Okay.
Indian markets में T-bills के currently rates you have mentioned. In 91 day T-bill का कितना rate चल रहा है, interest rate. 182 days का कितना चल रहा है, 264 का कितना चल रहा है. That all things should be mentioned. बहुत introduction में जाना नहीं चाहिए था, but practical approach you have to take it.
Okay, sir.
Presentation में इतना text नहीं चाहिए. I already informed before the presentation also. कि इतना text क्यों डाला हुआ है सभी लोगों ने? This is not the correct way. उसका मतलब तो Microsoft Word का फाइल ही दे दो. Presentation क्यों बोलोगे इसको फिर? Everyone, not just I'm talking of Sanket, but everyone.
No problem.
सभी लोगों ने सेम गलती किया हुआ है. Okay, okay. Any doubts in this? Okay, Sanjay.
Okay.
Okay. Online में कौन बाकी है अभी? Harshad? Yeah, you are there. Harshad, you are also there?
Yes, sir.
हाँ?
Yes, sir.
Okay, आपका कौन सा टॉपिक था?
Sir, introduction to money market and explain it to money market instruments.
Okay, ये आपका है क्या? Just I'm sharing it. Just a minute. Is this yours?
Yes, sir.
Okay, you can start.
Hello, everyone. I'm going to present the topic of money market. In this topic, I will discuss about introduction, features of money market, and types of money market instruments. So next slide. In financial system structure, there is financial market, and in financial market there are two types of markets: capital markets and money markets. Capital markets are generally those which are used to raise the long-term funds, and here in this presentation we're gonna deep dive into the money market. So the definition of money market is a market where money or its equivalent can be traded. Money market is a part of global financial market that deals with short-term lending and borrowing. As the definition itself says, that these are the instruments which are issued for lending funds for the short term. So next slide. So we are going to look the features of money market. First one is it is a market purely for short-term funds. So we saw in the definition that these instruments are for the short period of time. It deals with financial assets having maturity period up to 1 year only. Its maturity period is generally 1 year, as it is the short-term funds. There's no physical market. All transactions takes place through telephone. Like equity markets, there are no exchanges involved. It is just it is not a physical money market. All deals are happen through the telephone or fax. And who are the major issuers of money market instruments? They are governments, banks, financial institutions, and corporations who are in need of short-term debt requirements. So next one. First one is treasury bills. They are the short-term debt obligations backed by the government. If they are backed by the government, they are considered to be the secured. For example, the US treasury bills, they are considered to be the safest of all. They have a maturity of less than 1 year. They are issued for a tenure of 3 tenures: 91 days, 182 days, and 364 days. The prices of T-bills generally fluctuates as compared to the other debt securities. The major reasons for fluctuating the prices are macroeconomic conditions such as unemployment, interest rates, etc. The monetary policy, which is adopted by the central banks, like India has RBI and US has Federal Reserve, which manages the supply and interest rates. And the other reason, which is the basic reason, that is supply and demand for treasuries. Previously, what used to happen, T-bills, we were able to buy in the secondary market through help of broker. But nowadays, T-bills can be purchased through the auctions, which are generally held by the government. And who are the bidders at auctions? Competitive bidders, who are generally the largest corporations and financial institutions. And the non-competitive bidders, such as like us, retail bidders, who purchase in low volumes. So next one. Commercial papers were first introduced over 150 years ago, when the new merchants began to sell their short-term obligations to dealers. Commercial papers are unsecured promissory notes. As the name says, unsecured promissory note, it means that they are not backed by any kind of security, and they are issued for specified amount at the specified date. Commercial paper is the most prevalent form of security in the money market, and these are issued by the large corporations who are in the need of short-term debt requirements. They are issued at discount, and they are issued at discount for generally the period of 1 to 270 days. And if we talk about the return of percentage, like yield, as compared to other debt securities, like a T-bill, it has a higher yield, and these are generally issued by finance companies and larger banks. That's all. Thank you. Any questions are welcome.
Yeah. Questions? T-bill ऐसा दिखता है, ये यूएस का T-bill का एग्जांपल है और ये बहुत पुराना कमर्शियल पेपर है. It's more of like a promissory note. At the time of maturity, compulsory, you have to make the payment. Any doubts? Okay.
So any suggestions?
I think the only thing where you can improve is instead of writing that paragraphs, keep it in bullet points.
Okay, sir. Sure.
Okay. That could have made a better presentation. Otherwise, it's very good. But bullet points होना चाहिए. पूरा paragraph होगा तो फिर वही है, boredom हो जाएगा presentation. ठीक है. और पता नहीं चलेगा कि what is the topic over there.
Okay, sir.
Saurabh, just a minute. I am coming back to you.
Sure, sir.
फिर यहाँ पे 3 है ना पेंडिंग. 4. You are also there. सिबॉक 9 की बैच के साथ एक बार मिलो. सीरियसली क्या क्या शेयर कर रहे हैं यार आजकल तो. सीरियसली आप लोग कुछ नहीं कर रहे हो उसके कंपेयर में. और लेवल 1 का ही है, ऐसा नहीं है कि लेवल 2 का वो सब शेयर करने लगे. ठीक है, लेवल 1 तक का ही शेयर कर रहे हैं आजकल. अब तो उनके साथ भी मैं थोड़ा एडवांस लेवल का वो थोड़ा प्रेजेंट मतलब शेयर करता हूँ न्यूज़, जो आपके ग्रुप में भी नहीं हुआ है. बट स्टार्ट शेयरिंग नाउअडेज तो ही होगा, अदरवाइज इट्स नॉट पॉसिबल. और अब यही है ना?
Yes, sir.
This is the new file I have downloaded. Yeah, you can start.
So So my topic is mutual fund and the mutual fund and its schemes based on their asset allocation and their brief introduction. So what is a mutual fund? So yesterday we only learned like it's basically an investment. It's basically a vehicle which manages the investment fund and pulls money from investors to purchase securities. In the illustration, we can see that there are 3 investors who are pulling money into a fund house, which we call as mutual fund house. Mutual fund in turn invest it into different assets, be it money market instruments, equity instruments, or any other commodities they will interest according to the investment plan or investment goal of the investor. After generating returns from those markets, the mutual fund will repay you the money once you redeem it, and it will be passed on to you after certain deductions. In mutual fund, usually we have a growth fund and regular fund, depending on the if investor is investing through a broker, then they will charge some brokerage amount. So in that case, that amount will be deducted from your returns. And if you're going through a direct plan, that means you are buying those funds directly from the company instead of going through a broker. So can you please go to the second slide? Yeah, so the first mutual fund which I have researched is Edelweiss Mutual Fund, which I personally invest in that. So this fund has an expense ratio of 0.43%. Currently the fund has around 77.22% allocation in equity and 23.23% to debt. So from this we can estimate the risk factor. This fund is not too much risky. It's moderately risky, we can say. This fund was introduced in the market on 1st of January 2013. That means being 9 years and 3 months from its launch, and this investment has around 7,843 crores of assets as on 31st of March 2022. And it's a medium-sized fund with a very moderate risk. And we can say the minimum SIP for this fund is 1,000 rupees per month. That's the minimum SIP you can invest. So can you go to the next slide? Next one is Parag Parikh FlexiCap Fund, which is the multi-cap mutual fund scheme from Parag Parikh Group. This fund has been launched on 13th of May 2013. That's 8 years and 11 months exactly from that time to today. Parag Parikh FlexiCap Fund is a direct growth fund having 21,768 crores of assets as on 31st of March 2022. And as you can see, this fund is the high risk fund. If the risk factor shows it, like this fund comes in the high risk category because this fund invests approximately 95% in equity and the rest in debt. So you can estimate the amount of risk. The minimum SIP for this fund starts from 500 to 1,000. But yeah, I personally invest 2,000 per month on this instrument. And on long term, this fund is very beneficial if you want to invest in SIP for a very long term. This fund is not risky one, right? Yes, sir.
94% equity allocation.
Yes, sir.
बहुत risky हो जाएगा. Returns भी अच्छे होंगे, but I think.
Yes, sir. Very high risk. Very high risk.
Okay.
But the problem is that this fund is mostly for long-term growth. Like this is not for short-term.
Correct.
But on long-term, this fund has given a good performance.
Yeah. आपका खुद का है क्या पर्सनल इन्वेस्टमेंट इसमें?
Yes, sir. मेरा खुद का है ये Edelweiss and Parag Parikh में. Next is Mirae Asset Mutual Fund. So this mutual fund is basically for large and mid-cap growth. This fund was launched on 1st of January 2030, same as of Edelweiss, same year in which the Edelweiss was launched. So this is basically a blue chip fund, which has a asset of 21,932 crores, and it's a medium-sized category. And as you can see from the asset allocation, it completely invests in equity. There is no other investment portfolio for this asset. So we can estimate that this fund also comes under a high risk category. So if you're investing in this fund, it is better you invest it for long term, because for short term, it will not give you that much return as expected, because this fund only invests in equities and no other commodities or no other debt instruments. So this is a very high risk instrument.
Correct.
Next is ICICI Blue Chip Fund.
What mistake you have done is only allocation AUM size and जब उसका starting हुआ था, but what exactly 91% is going over there? वो मैंने बोला था कि pie chart या tables you can use over there. So say for
उसमें इतने सारे companies में उसने invest किया है, सर उसको pie chart बनाना थोड़ा मुश्किल है.
ठीक है, you can take a screenshot also. ठीक है.
सर उसमें बहुत सारे companies के उसमें है, बहुत सारे अगर 20 companies.
Yeah, but you can take top 5 companies considering their base allocation. Say for example, पहली 5 या 6 companies ही ऐसी होगी जिसमें वहाँ पे कम से कम 30-40% allocation जा रहा होगा, बाकी फिर छोटे-छोटे 2%, 3% अलग-अलग होगा.
Okay, so I thought okay, sir, no problem, sir. I will try to.
और ये जो है ना same mistake paragraph नहीं चाहिए, यहाँ पे bullet points चाहिए for every sentence. Then look as a presentation.
Okay, so got it, sir. From next time I will try to correct.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is ICICI Blue Chip Fund. So this fund was launched on 1st of January 2013, having an asset of 31,688 crores, and it was as of 31st of March 2022. It has a valuation of 31,688 crores. It's a medium-sized category, and this fund also comes under high-risk category. As you can see that this fund invests majorly in equity market, that is 91.2% in equity and so only 0.31% in debt. So basically, this fund also comes under high risk category for long term growth. Yeah, this is for long term growth. And last one is Aditya Birla Sun Life Financial Planning for aggressive plan. So by the name suggests,
कोई ऐसा म्यूचुअल फंड नहीं लिया क्या, डेट वाला या बैलेंस्ड फंड?
सर मैंने सिर्फ दो ही प्लान SIP है, तो मैंने अलग ऐसे
कि हर एक में सिर्फ इक्विटी एलोकेशन 94, 99, 91 और यहाँ पे भी 71 डेट वाला. हाँ यस, बहुत ज्यादा है. You should have taken one debt fund and one example of balanced fund also. Okay.
Balance. So Edelweiss is the first one is balanced fund only. The first one.
It's Edelweiss. Okay. How much is that? It will be 77% to equity. That can't be considered as a balanced fund. 23% ही है debt. 50-50 होना चाहिए. Balance बोलते हैं, ठीक है. I got that point. But more or less like the ratio over here, it has to come down more. Okay. This one. 60 के आसपास तो कम से कम होना चाहिए. 60-40 फिर भी ठीक है.
340. Okay, sir. Okay, sir, I will make sure for the next
yes,
time.
क्योंकि बाकी सब schemes we will not be able to differentiate like on what basis we should allocate. अगर मैं आपको ये question पूछूं कि this is more related to of course financial planning, तो ये long term के लिए अच्छा है, लेकिन ज्यादातर बाकी long term के लिए अच्छे होंगे considering their equity exposure.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
This one is moderate risk instrument. This is not for long term. It's a moderate instrument, so you can go it for 5 to 6 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So Aditya Birla Sun Life Mutual Fund is something which was launched in 1st April 2013, having a asset of 162 crores. So as per the asset allocation, we can see 71.6% is in equity, and rest of the remaining is in debt instrument. So it's moderate risk. It's not a high risk. You can invest it for like 4 to 5 years is enough for it if you want to earn a big chunk of return.
Okay.
But yeah, it is not that aggressive.
Okay.
So I will try to develop it the next time.
Yes. Presentation skills improve करनी है, balanced funds और improve करने और debt fund का examples add करना.
Sure, sir.
Okay. Anyone left from online now? Everyone is covered, right? Okay. हाँ, क्या कौन सा था? Cash equity. This one? वो मैं अभी असाइनमेंट ही देने वाला था. What are blue chip companies actually? That blue chip fund. ठीक है. हाँ, वैसे yes, question for you. Just a minute. Yeah, Saurabh, are you there? Saurabh?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Online. What are blue chip funds? Yeah, blue chip companies. That is the question being asked to you.
Sir, blue chip companies, basically like blue chip stocks or blue chip companies?
Blue chip stocks, you can say. Chalo.
So blue chip stock is basically a company which is having a very good reputation, and if the fund is investing in those companies, it is referred to as blue chip stocks.
So say for example,
like they're typically a well-established company, large companies having a very having a very diverse market capitalization. Like for example, in my view, Coca-Cola is best. Boeing Airlines.
But that are US companies, right? We are talking for Indian companies then.
Sir, Indian companies, maybe Indian companies with idea.
बहुत सारी है, Nifty 50 में ही बहुत सारे नाम हैं.
Yeah, TCS is one of them.
Yeah, even L&T is there.
L&T, Infosys is there.
Correct.
Yeah. So mostly because when I learned about the blue chip, the most common example was Coca-Cola company, because it's a very it's a flagship company of that brand, right?
Correct.
So I remember that example basically. Okay. PepsiCo is there. PepsiCo is also a blue chip company.
Okay. But basically, what I will be suggesting is assignment here. What are blue chip stocks and what are blue chip companies and what is a blue chip fund? ठीक है, तीनों.
Sure.
तुम्हारा लास्ट है आज. लास्ट टाइम फर्स्ट था ना, आज लास्ट है. ब्लू चिप कंपनीज, ब्लू चिप स्टॉक्स एंड ब्लू चिप फंड. ठीक है, आपका है ना. एक बार देखो उनका पार भी लेवल 1 के मॉक्स के बाद आज 5 को 3 मंथ
My topic is cash equity. Introduction. of cash equity. Cash equity refers to common stock and more liquid cash market. It does refers to liquid portion of an assets that can be readily to cash. The term equity describes this type of ownership because it was regulated through the system of equity law developed in England during the late Middle Ages. In financial accounting term, equity of assets is defined as net balance of its assets reduced by its liability. Cash equity trading is typically done on stock exchange such as BSE and NSE by different traders and investors. A basic example is a company offering to pay $25 cash for each share of the target company. Stock currently selling at a market price of $17. This represents an $8 or 47% premium. तो सर बाय कर रहा है शेयर्स
escalate to this concept of this $8 or $8 of an income. That is not an example of capital appreciation.
नहीं सर इंट्रोडक्शन ही था बस.
Any example of cash equity? One by one. Cash equity के example. अभी लेवल में हो गया ना. Cash equity नहीं बताएंगे. The pressure to compare with questions. Yeah, online students, what are examples of cash equities?
Yes, sir. So not audible, sir.
Hello. We're not
Yes,
audible. Hello. We're not audible, sir. Hello.
Example of cash equity.
Cash equities.
EDR, GDR.
ADR.
It can be anything, but preference shares, equity shares.
So the Twitter deal.
Preference shares.
So Twitter deal is the example.
The preference share is examples of cash equity, which can be redeemed in cash.
हाँ क्या बोल रहे हो?
Sir, anything which can be redeemed in cash, like preference shares.
नहीं चाहिए, level 1 नहीं चल रहा है, just want examples.
हाँ सर, preference shares ही बोल रहा हूँ.
Preference shares नहीं आते हैं उसमें. Preference shares is a type, ordinary shares. एक statement clearly लिखा था. If I am saying cash equity, I am saying stock, I am saying shares. It's one and the same thing. ठीक है? तो वहाँ पे इतना confusion क्यों है फिर? Twitter deal कहाँ से आ गया इसमें? हाँ शिशिर.
Sir, I gave the example like Pura entire stocks is being purchased in cash in the way the equities.
No, that is fine, but cash equity is normally your common stock. of the
Yeah,
company.
that's what, yeah, common stock, common shares, yeah.
yes, so उसके एग्जांपल्स पूछ रहा हूँ मैं क्लास में.
Okay, I wasn't able to.
ADR GDR किसने बोला था? हाँ संकेत, इसमें ADR GDR कहाँ से आ गया? अभी से T4 हो डायरेक्टली सबको बाय डिफॉल्ट. भूल जाओ T1 तो क्या परफॉर्म कर रहे हो यार? अभी जस्ट रिसेंट, अभी तो मॉक दिए, कुछ तो एग्जांपल्स दो. ओके, किसका बाकी है? हाँ, अब यहीं से रिवर्स ले लेते हो. आपका कौन सा था ऑप्शन? DCC था. ओके,
Hello everyone. My presentation topic is accrued interest and DCC, day count convention. What is accrued interest? Accrued interest refers to the amount of interest that has been incurred as of specific date on loan for other financial obligation, but has not yet been paid out. Example of accrued interest: interest on bond, interest on loan, etc. Accrued interest is calculated as of the last date of the accounting period. Formula of accrued interest: accrued interest is equals to face value into coupon percent into DCC. What is DCC? Take on convention. A day count convention is the system used on debt securities such as bond or swaps to calculate the amount of accrued interest or present value when the next coupon period away. Take on convention depends our market type, location, and currency. Business day count convention: actual by 360, actual by 365, and 30 by 360, actual by actual day count convention. 360 by 360 means monthly in monthly, 30 days in month, and 360 in year. Accrued interest for each DCC as of 7th March 2017. Actual by 360, face value 20,000, and 5% coupon, and 3 months, January, February, and March, 6 days, divided 360. Actual by 365, face value 20,000 into 5% coupon value, and January, February, and 6 days, 365. And 30 by 360, 20,000 into 5 coupon interest into 30 January 30 or February 30 or March 6, divided 360. Actual by actual, face value 20,000 into 5% coupon, and January 30 plus 28 plus 6 divided 365. That's all. Bye.
Day count convention depends upon market time. What is market time? Question depends on three factors. What is market type? What is location? What is currency? How it is impacting day count convention?
Location means one state, foreign, one state to one state to capital.
Whenever you are writing anything in the slides, सबसे बड़ी चीज, सबसे बड़ा ब्लंडर ये होता है कि जो चीज हमको पता नहीं है लेकिन कहीं से उठा के लिख दी। ठीक है, अगर ऐसी चीज आपने लिखी हुई है ना तो समझो कि प्रेजेंटेशन में नहीं पता चला ना तो बहुत बड़ा मिस्टेक है। ग्रामेटिकल एरर, प्रेजेंटेशन, ये सब तो छोटे छोटे पॉइंट्स हैं, लेकिन ऐसा कोई टॉपिक या कंटेंट आपने लिखा है जिसके बारे में आपको ही नहीं पता है, then what does it mean actually? Getting my point? Concepts are not clear. You have just copied from somewhere. बहुत सारे मीनिंग निकल सकते हैं फिर। ठीक है, तो प्लीज अवॉइड सच थिंग्स। जितना पता है उतना लिखो, लेकिन अगर कुछ एक्स्ट्रा लिख रहे हो तो प्लीज रिसर्च अबाउट इट, उसके बिना डायरेक्टली मत लिखो। ठीक है, अगेन बुलेट पॉइंट्स आर मिसिंग। सब बुलेट पॉइंट्स आने चाहिए। दिस इज नॉट अ डायरेक्ट बुलेट पॉइंट ओवर हियर, उसके अंदर आना चाहिए वो एक। ठीक है, यहाँ पे भी सेम बुलेट पॉइंट्स आर मिसिंग, डिवीजन वाला मिसिंग। फॉर्मूला में पूरा ये नीचे आ जाना चाहिए। यहाँ पे एक्सटेंड का ये जो साइन है उसकी जगह एक्स लिख दो, कैपिटल एक्स। बहुत छोटी छोटी चीज है लेकिन यू नीड टू बी केयरफुल। चलो ओके, ये इनसे एक्सप्लोर करते हैं पहले। अब इन्होंने तो कहीं से लिखा है ना, अब कहीं कहाँ से लिखा है तो एक्सप्लोर करके हम अगली क्लास में बता देंगे। हाँ हाँ, वही तो इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूँ, जहाँ से लिखा है वो एक्सप्लोर करो। अब आप ही पूछोगे अगले क्लास में, मुझे मत पूछना। ठीक है, आई एम नॉट रिस्पॉन्सिबल। मैंने तो बनाया नहीं है, मैंने समझाया भी नहीं है, मेरा टॉपिक भी नहीं है वो। ठीक है, तो आपको ही एक्सप्लेन करना है इनको। ठीक है, नेक्स्ट क्लास में भूल जाए तो याद करवा देना सबसे पहले। ठीक है, ओके। हाँ, आपका कौन सा था? कौन सा? सिर्फ डेरिवेटिव लिखा था। ये प्रेजेंटेशन ऑप्शंस किसका है? ओके, आपका तो ये है ना। एक सेकंड, ये किसका था? हाँ, ये देख लिया हम लोगों ने, आपने भेजा था। एक बार वापस भेजो वही सेम ग्रुप में। आज पता चला प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स का कितना कमी है, लैंग्वेज कम्युनिकेशन का कितना कमी है, बाकी पता नहीं। ठीक, क्या क्या भेज रहे हैं सिबॉप 9 वाले। I show you in my WhatsApp group. They are really active, seriously. See, just आप एक बार देख लो। Sibop 10, please start doing like this. देखो, अभी किसी ने why MRF shares are costly का वीडियो भेजा है मुझे, अभी जस्ट भेजा है 5:10 को। ठीक है, उससे पहले टॉप एक्विजिशन एंड मर्जर्स क्या हुआ है, आज के टॉप लूजर्स, टॉप गेनर्स, स्टॉक्स एट 52 वीक बाय क्या चल रहा है। फिर यहाँ पे देखो बिगेस्ट गेनर, बिगेस्ट लूजर, सेक्टर वाइज क्या चल रहा है, वर्स्ट सेक्टर आज किसने परफॉर्म किया, हाउ BSE इज मेकिंग मनी, सेंसेक्स निफ्टी 50 का क्या पॉइंट्स रहा, निफ्टी बैंक कितना रहा, NSE वर्सेस BSE। ठीक है, चार्ट्स वगैरह पे भी पहुंच गए, मैंने सिखाया नहीं है फिर भी एक स्टूडेंट ने हेड एंड शोल्डर का पैटर्न भेजा। डिविडेंड्स एवरी मंथ कौन कौन बेचता है। ठीक है, हाउ रिलायंस वाज कैरिड आउट इनटू स्प्लिट बिटवीन अनिल अंबानी ने दिस मुकेश अंबानी स्टोरी। ओके, फिर देखो यहाँ तक है, फिर उसके ऊपर और मैं जाऊँगा। लेट मी जस्ट चेक, आई शेयर दिस थिंग एडवांस वाला बहुत डिटेल में। जापान में आज कौन सा डेटा है, ठीक है, दिस सिंगापुर में कौन सा है, हांगकॉन्ग में कौन सा, यूरो, यूएस रेट, ये बहुत एडवांस वर्जन है, लेकिन वो आपको तब पता चलेगा जब थोड़ा लेवल 1 आपका एडवांस हो जाएगा। सी, किसी ने तो सुबह एनालिसिस ही लिख दिया है, SGX निफ्टी क्या हो रहा है, कैसे हो रहा है, ठीक है। मैंने तो कुछ भी नहीं बताया। बजिंग स्टॉक्स आज के, ब्लू चिप कंपनीज, ग्रोथ, डिविडेंड, साइक्लिकल, डिफेंसिव, पेनी स्टॉक्स, मैंने कुछ भी नहीं समझाया इन लोगों को। एवरीवन आर पुटिंग देयर ओन। स्टॉक ब्रोकर्स, मार्केट शेयर दिख रहा है ऑनलाइन स्टूडेंट्स? सी दिस वन।
यस सर।
ये स्टॉक किसी ने ढूंढा है, SCL करके, 1 लाख इन्वेस्टमेंट 6 months ago has turned into 51 CR। कोई तो है SCL MG करके स्टॉक, ठीक है, वो मुझे भी नहीं पता था। ओके, top now 10 IPOs to watch out for in not just LIC. See, Adani Wilmar already came, NSE, OYO, PharmEasy, Bajaj Energy, Ola, Byju's, SBI म्यूचुअल फंड, ये सब के IPOs आने वाले हैं, ठीक है। तो किसी ने अभी से बेच दिया है। उसी डिविडेंड्स किस किस का अनाउंस हुआ तो किसी ने वो भी भेजा है। दिस इज हाउ द डेटा इज बीइंग शेयर्ड। और हमारा ग्रुप तो कुछ करता ही नहीं है, ऐसा लगता है। गेटिंग इट, क्या डेटा एग्जैक्टली शेयर होना चाहिए, दिस इज व्हाट माय पॉइंट इज आफ्टर ऑल। आपने वो भेजा क्या सिबॉप 9? ठीक है, तो सिबॉप 9 इज वेरी वेरी एक्टिव। उस पर्टिकुलर बैच में से आई एम एक्सपेक्टिंग 90% प्लेसमेंट्स मिनिमम। 100 हो जाता तो बहुत सुपरस्टार हो जाएगा, लेकिन लेट्स सी, लेट्स होप फॉर द बेस्ट। ये है ना डेरिवेट, नहीं सेल्फ डेरिवेटिव्स।
Hello friends, myself Rachna, and today I am going to talk about derivatives. So what is derivative? Derivative are a financial contract whose value derived from underlying value of asset. There are 4 types of derivatives. They are forward contract, future contract, options, and swaps. Forward contract. Forward contract is a OTC derivatives wherein there is an agreement to buy or sell underlying asset on a specified date for the price agreed today. For example, suppose I am a farmer and I want to sell sugar at current rate of ₹50, but I hear from someone. Nice, sir. I'm here from someone that sugar price will be fall in upcoming month. So in this case, I decided to enter in a contract with the grocery for selling them a particular amount of sugar at ₹50 in 3 months. Now, if the price of sugar will increases, then buyer in profit, and if the price of sugar decreases, then I will get the price as mentioned on contract. Another is future contract. A future contract is an agreement between 2 parties to buy or sell an asset at a certain time in the future at a certain price. Future contract traded on exchange. We can take the same example of forward contract for future. The only difference is future contract is a standardized contract. We cannot manipulate the quantity or price in future contract. But in forward contract, we can add quantity or subtract as per requirement. And next is option. Option contract is a contract where shareholder get the right to buy or sell, but not an obligation. There are 2 main options, call and put. In call option, there is a call buyer, call seller, and in put buyer, put seller. Call buyer and put seller are bullish in nature. Put seller are bullish in nature, and call seller and put buyer are bearish in nature. Suppose today's current price of Nifty is 17,000 and I am bullish in nature. So I would like to buy and call option at 16,500 and sell and call sale option at 17,500. This is also called as a pull spread. And if we reverse this, then it is a bear spread. Next is swaps. Swaps is a type of derivative in which two counterparty exchange cash flow based on the underlying asset. Underlying asset could be equity, currency, commodity, and interest rate, etc. There are 4 types of swaps: interest rate swaps, FX swaps, equity swaps, credit default swap. So in short, forward is traded on OTC, and forward contract is a customized contract, and forward contract, they do not require any margin, and in forward contract there is a counterparty risk and counterparty is known. Future contract traded on exchange, and future contract is a standardized contract. We cannot manipulate the price or quantity, and future contract require very high margin, and in future contract there is no counterparty risk and counterparties are unknown. Swaps traded on OTC. Swap mainly used for hedging of risk, and swap gives the access to new financial market. And last, option traded on exchange market. In option, there is a high risk and high reward also. And in option, there is unique strategies are available for hedging and speculation. And option require very low margin. That's why this one is more popular in market. Thank you.
Bullet points भी है और एक ही वर्ड है, फिर आप एक्सपेक्ट कर सकते हो. You can give examples and starting में आपका वो पैराग्राफ सॉल्व करेंगे, फिर बाद में ये सही फॉर्मेट है, पूरा डेरिवेटिव्स का चैप्टर आ जा रहा है. और भी आ गया, फॉरवर्ड हो गया, फ्यूचर हो गया, ऑप्शन हो गया, चार्ट ऑफ चैप्टर का ऐसे ही कंप्लीट हो गया. ठीक है, प्रेजेंटेशन फॉर्मेट. या एनी डाउट्स? एक डाउट
कस्टमाइज मतलब उसमें हम क्वांटिटी बढ़ा सकते हैं या फिर कम कर सकते हैं एज पर बायर रिक्वायरमेंट. फ्यूचर में ऐसा नहीं कर सकते, उसमें पहले से गिवन होगा कि इतने इतने के ऊपर आपको करना है, अगर लेना तो लो, तो मत. मतलब वो सिक्योरिटी के लिए एक मार्जिन रखते हैं एक्सचेंज, अगर लॉस हो जाए तो एज कंपेयर टू फ्यूचर. I compare with future require very high margin, but हम मिनिमम मतलब मिनिमम देखें अगर कि इतनी इतनी मार्जिन चाहिए फ्यूचर. Yes. Thank you.
तो और चार पांच रख देंगे यहाँ पे. So you want this thing to change or one like that?
कल सुबह आप लोग आ सकते हो ना? Tomorrow morning 10 to 2.
तो दोनों बैचेस में कन्वे कर देते हैं. वो तो ऐसे अच्छा 10 बजे.
हाँ 10 बजे. ये खींच रहा हूँ पीछे इनका, फिर थोड़ा टाइमिंग बाकी सब चलेगा। कल से बहुत माइंड के साथ कंबाइन लेक्चर पूरा उनके साथ इंटरेक्ट करो, बिकॉज़ व्हाट आई एम टेलिंग इज यू आर नॉट गेटिंग टू दैट लेवल, साइंस तो वो मिसिंग है। ये हो गया ऐसा नहीं मिला नहीं, नाम तो ठीक है। ठीक है, कल एक बार उनके साथ सी वी विल बी गोइंग थ्रू लेवल 1 एक बार फिर से उनको भी मैं बोल दूंगा, वैसे उनका लेवल 2 चल रहा है, वैसे खत्म होने को आ रहा है, वो इतने स्पीड से जा रहा है। जस्ट इमेजिन एक हफ्ते पहले ही शायद उनका मॉक हुआ, इतना डिफरेंस नहीं एक कैंडिडेट पे करना, बट है लेकिन कंसेप्ट वाइज तो बहुत छुट्टी है। ठीक है, तो एक बार दैट इज व्हाट आई एम ट्राइंग टू डू, जस्ट हैव एन इंटरेक्शन। वो कैसे बोलते हैं, कैसे प्रेजेंट करते हैं, आपको सीखने को क्या क्या मिलेगा, क्या हो सकता है आपके लिए इम्प्रूवमेंट। जैसे आज पीपीटी किया तो मुझे इतना तो आइडिया, सबको कुछ ना कुछ फीडबैक तो आया ही है, आपका ये गलती है, आपका ये गलती है, आपका ये आपका वो है, व्हाटएवर, इन शॉर्ट नो वन इज परफेक्ट एज ऑफ नाउ। ठीक है, एक चीज ये हुआ। सेकंड, सॉफ्ट स्किल्स का जितना हो सके स्टार्ट यूटिलाइजिंग दिस क्लासेस। अगर ऐसा है तो एक्स्ट्रा क्लासेस वी विल ट्राई टू हैव इट, क्योंकि आपका आप भी शुगर तो करते हैं। ठीक है,
हेलो सर, योर वॉइस इज नॉट हेलो।
हाँ यस,
हाँ
see tomorrow 10 to 2 everyone is free right in online students morning में?
यस सर।
सुबह 10 से 2 फ्री हो ना सब?
हाँ सर।
सर ऑफिस रहता है सर?
नो सर, 10 से 2 तो नहीं, आफ्टर 1 o'clock।
आफ्टर 1 o'clock कितने आफ्टर 1 o'clock वाले हैं?
सर विक्रांत आफ्टर 1 o'clock
और
आफ्टर 1 o'clock।
Okay, Vikrant and Saurabh, you probably don't require it. Sanket, what about you?
Yes sir, I'm free now this time.
Okay. Vikrant and Saurabh, what you can do is once you are free, you can directly join it. This is basically more for those students who are still not able to understand the concepts, who are not able to converse the content or the topic. Okay.
Okay, sir. Sure.
But as far as for both of you, as far as your mocks were concerned, you both have done very good in that. तो आपके लिए वो इतना कंसर्न नहीं है, बाकी स्टूडेंट्स के लिए है। ठीक है, so what I am planning is I am just trying to merge this particular batch for one session with CBOP 9 batch. Okay, so just try to have an interactions with them. We will be discussing only level 1 things. Okay, nothing new over there. ठीक है, आप जैसे रहते हो you can directly join the online session link. I will be sharing that link in the group. कल मतलब जैसे स्टार्ट करते हैं तो वो लिंक आ जाएगा। बट एक बार प्लीज कि मैं आपके लिए ये कर रहा हूँ स्पेसिफिकली, अदरवाइज ये मतलब होता नहीं है जनरली, तो आपको इम्प्रूवमेंट कहाँ पे करना है डायरेक्टली आपको पता चल जाएगा। ठीक है, अदरवाइज आई एम डैम श्योर कि अभी आप उस पर्टिकुलर स्टेज में हो ही नहीं कि आपका प्लेसमेंट हो सकता है। बिलीव मी, मैं यहीं से आपको रिजेक्ट बोल सकता हूँ। अगर बहुत प्रैक्टिकल ग्राउंड्स पे आ जाता हूँ तो सीरियसली 1 या 2 को छोड़कर, मतलब ऑनलाइन का मतलब ये 2 का बहुत सही है, बाकी स्टूडेंट्स आर स्टिल नॉट परफॉर्मिंग टू माई एक्सपेक्टेशंस, और वहां पे ऐसा है कि कुछ एक्सीड कर रहे हैं एक्सपेक्टेशंस को, ये डिफरेंस है। ठीक है, तो डीमोटिवेशन मत करो, ऐसा नहीं है, बट जो आपको सीखना है, जो आपको इम्प्रूव करना है वो करना है, एंड दैट्स द रीजन यू आर हियर, करेक्ट? ओके, तो कल 10 to 2 वी विल बी प्लानिंग द सेशन। ओके, मोस्टली अगर कोई चेंज होगा तो वो मैसेज आ जाएगा ऑफकोर्स इन द ग्रुप या मेल पे, दोनों पे। ठीक है, वंस आई विल फाइनलाइज, मतलब जैसे ही फाइनलाइज हो जाता है तो फिर आपको मैसेज करता हूँ। ठीक है, व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप में।
ओके सर।
ओके, चलो इनका हो गया ना। ओके, आपका कौन सा था अभी? लास्ट वन इज देयर, लेट्स कंप्लीट दैट आल्सो। हाँ, अच्छा, वन ऑफ द बेस्ट वेज टू राइट द नेम ऑन द प्रेजेंटेशन। किसी ने नाम ही नहीं लिखा है स्लाइड पे, एटलीस्ट नाम तो लिखो टाइटल स्लाइड पे। सबसे बड़ा मिस्टेक, यहाँ पे नाम होना चाहिए प्रेजेंटेड बाय करके, किसी ने नहीं लिखा है। हाँ, मतलब कई लोग, कुछ लोगों को छोड़कर। बेसिक एटिकेट्स एंड मिस्टेक्स are missing for everyone. 9 slides बना दिए. हाँ?
Good evening, friends. My name is Aditya Honra. So I am presenting on one of the most topics, derivatives in that options. So options. So what is options? Options are traded on the exchange market. In there, you can trade on the stocks as well as in index. Option is a financial contract between the giving the buyer the right, but not the obligation to buy or sell the underlying asset at a predetermined price in a specific date. So there are the two types of options, call options and put options. In call options, the buyer has the right, but not the obligation to buy the underlying asset. And in put options, the buyer has the right, but not the obligation to sell the underlying asset. There are also the four types, means long call, short call, then long put and short put. As we can see in the graph, the long call means a buyer has the long call, means he can buy the long call. He think that the price will go up, and in short call, seller thinks the price will go down. This is the difference between them. And in the long put, we can see the buyer thinks the price will go down, and in the short put, the seller thinks the price will go up. This is the difference in this presentation I am showing you. And there are the two strategies in options. The first one is the strangle. Strangle is the strategy. Investor holds the position in the both call and put with a different strike price, but with the same maturity and underlying asset. As shown in the graph, here is the price. The buyer price we have is a call options. We buy in the 17,500, and also put option we buy the strangle, and this is the chart here. So, and second strategy is a straddle. There is. यहाँ पे क्या लगता है, ये प्रॉफिट होगा कि लॉस होगा? लॉस, राइट? बिकॉज रेंज इतना बड़ा है कि वो दोनों जीरो ही हो जाएंगे. ऊपर से एप्रिल का एक्सपायरी होने के बाद जीरो हो गए होंगे ऑलरेडी. ठीक है, एक्चुअली दोनों को सेल करना. बट सिंस दिस इज दैट स्टैंडर्ड आउट ऑफ मनी को क्यों बाय किया? स्टैंडर्ड मनी को बाय करना चाहिए. 17,200 या 17,300 जो भी चल रहा है, ये गलत है. So what is the second strategy is a straddle. A straddle is an option strategy involving the purchase of both put and call option for the same expiry date and a strike price on the same underlying security. And we can see the graph here. So in call option, in call sale, call buy, here is 17,200, and input 17,200 is the buy option. This is the graph. Thank you. Sir, आपने दो ही दिए.
short call. Okay, so probably we are now done with the different presentations. Okay, बहुत काम करना बाकी है मेरे ख्याल से तो, ठीक है, हर एक को, नॉट पॉइंट स्टूडेंट, किसी का प्रेजेंटेशन स्किल्स ठीक नहीं है, किसी का कम्युनिकेशन ठीक नहीं है, किसी का स्लाइड्स तो शायद सबका नहीं है, वो प्रेजेंटेशन लगता ही नहीं है मुझे, कोई रीडिंग अ पैम्पलेट ऐसा लग रहा है मुझे, नॉट द वे यू आर मेकिंग अ प्रोफेशनल प्रेजेंटेशंस। एक बार यूट्यूब पे जाके सर्च करो व्हाट हाउ टू मेक अ प्रेजेंटेशंस, ठीक है। ओके, आई थिंक वी आर डन देन, ठीक है। कल का टाइम आई विल वंस अगेन कंफर्म, अगर है तो आपको 10 से 2 बजे तक कल, ठीक है, 10 to 2।
Sir, tomorrow we will have soft skill session, right? After 2.
क्या बोल रहे हो?
Tomorrow we will have soft skill training, right? After 2.
सॉफ्ट स्किल्स का आएगा लेक्चर्स, बट प्रोबेबली लेट्स सी हाउ वी आर गोइंग विद इट। अदरवाइज लेवल 2 तो स्टार्ट हो ही गया है हमारा, बीच बीच में आपका हर एक वीक में एक सेशन तो रहेगा ही रहेगा, ठीक है। बट इन बिटवीन आई विल बी ऑल्सो शेयरिंग फीडबैक एज वेल एज एनी अदर इंफॉर्मेशन रिगार्डिंग सॉफ्ट स्किल्स, ठीक है।
Sure, sir.
Okay. Okay, closing the session then. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.